language, right? In a language, there are only differences without fixed terms, right? There are no fixed terms. It consists only in differences, right? So once again, the meaning of the word cat is relational. Now you'll understand, right? Now I think you'll be able to understand better. The first concept I told you was the meaning is something, just a minute. Yeah, meaning is attributed. Please remember this. Meaning is attributed to the things by the human mind. So meaning is not contained inside things. Rather, meaning is always on the outside. So, pucha means it is not connected or has a basic inherent latent relationship with this animal, right? It's only because of an agreed convention that this word pucha in Malayalam relates. A person from Tamil Nadu cannot relate with it, right? This word, right? We saw that. So this one we saw, right? Pune. A Malayali will not understand what Pune means, right? And a person from an English speaking person will not understand what, right? Shat or sha means. Excuse me, right? So meaning is, first we saw, right, attributed or given to things. The second word is, meaning is arbitrary. Where is meaning? It is arbitrary. There is no inherent relation between cat, the word cat, and the animal cat, right? We saw that. Excuse me. So this one we saw. So meaning is attributed to me as this innocent cat. Yes, right? Wherever you are placed in a particular structure, in a particular culture, meaning is attributed to you, right? And this one we saw that meaning is also arbitrary. You get your name based on the structure. For example, excuse me, right? I'm here as a teacher, right? As a lecturer, probably. When I go outside and I go to the shop, another structure, I become a customer. So the structure changes. Now I go to the what is called railway station. I become a passenger. Right? So I go to another nation. I am called a citizen of India. See how meaning is relational. So who am I? My identity, my relation is not in the inside, it is on the outside, and it depends on convention, relational, arbitrary, and the last part we saw here was, excuse me, in a language, the last one, right? In a language, there are only differences without any fixed terms because meaning is relational. Now, see the beauty of structuralism. You'll find it here. I just wrote it down for you. This is the beauty of a structuralist reading. If you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the meaning of this particular, these sentences there, you will feel how beautiful a reading in structuralism is all about. That's the final point, right? Now the kitten asks us, what is the final point? Now you say, right? Language constitutes our reality. Language constitutes our world. Conditions, constructs, constitutes our world for us, right? See how the word CAT is spelled out. Immediately, see, four things happen in our mind. Immediately, out of, automatically it happens. Spontaneously it happens. Reflexively it happens. CAT, meaning is first attributed excuse me, to the cat by the human mind. First, it is attributed by the human mind. Second, how from a position of relation. So this is a cat. This is not a dog. This is not this cat. This is not. Yeah, it's a domestic cat, not a wild cat. Everything comes to your mind. See how narrowed down our mind does all the work for us. when the word CAT is written or spelled out, even without the cat being there, that's more important. The cat need not be there right in front of us, right? The visual is painted through words. We call word painting, isn't it? The visual is painted for us through beautiful word. This is the power of language, says Sazua. He was the pioneer who, who discovered this power of language, right? So the moment CAT is spelled out, pronounced, expressed, the next moment, immediately the mind attributes it, right? Meaning. Meaning is attributed by the human mind. Then, how does it attribute? Through a position of relations. And thirdly, it is constructed in language. What language? Medium, we saw, no? English language or Tamil language or Malayalam language or Telugu language. It has to have a medium and then expressed through language, right? Constructed in a language, expressed in a language. What a beautiful process goes through our mind because of the power of symbols or signs or words. There is another book. This is called People Watching. It's a huge book by Desmond Morris. It tells us about the various codes that you and I and people across the world use as signs as part of a particular culture in which they are placed. Desmond Morris is very interesting, right? You should read him sometime. And he has written umpteen books like Bill Bryson and others. He delves into human nature basically, right? So here he talks about how signs, this sign, what does it mean? Or this sign, right? What does it mean? Or this sign, what does it mean? This sign, what does it mean? In cultures, across cultures, right? How a sign gets its validity in a culture based on mutually agreed convention, right? That is more important. Now, this is the beauty, right? We find. Now, this is an example that Sazua tells us. So I'm just giving you this example. What is this, right? This is called the 8:25 train from Geneva to Paris. I just took this train for an example, for demonstration purposes from the beautiful website there. It's given, the trainline.com. So, he gives this example. There is a train that goes from Geneva to Paris, an express train. So people who shuttle every day, like, we shuttle from Tambaram to Egmore, no? People will know, they will not ask for the train at all. Like in the previous example we saw, right? They will not ask for the object at all, the thing at all, the animal at all. They'll just say, where is the cat? C-A-T. Immediately, what happens? The mind, we saw in the previous, the next one, meaning is attributed to the cat. Then a position of relations is formed in the mind, constructed by language, and then expressed through language. Right? The same Sazua tells us, right, through the example of the demonstration of the train. When passengers come, they ask, where is the Geneva to Paris train, express train? Instead of asking, where is this long name for that, they just ask, where is the 8:25? That's it. So look at this. A train gets its identity by just three numerals, three digits, 8.25. 8:25. So 8:25 stands for a huge train that shuttles between Geneva and Paris. Now, people who come looking for the 8:25, Sazua says, they ask, when is the 8:25? Immediately, people will know that the 8:25 is the train that comes between 7:25 and the 9:25. Every hour they have a train, right, to Paris. So here he says the 8:25 gets its identity not in itself, but in a position of relations. It is not the 7:25. It is not the 9:25. It comes between, in a system of relations. So where is the meaning of the train? It is not in the train. It is in a system of relations that form the train. So meaning is exactly like that. Where is the meaning of the cat? It is not in the cat, but is in a system of relations that give the cat its meaning. So where is meaning? It is outside, not inside. Now, he says, coming to this example, sometimes it so happens that when the train, 825 train, does not work on Sundays, for example, maybe because of work, um, duty on the train, right? For the train to be serviced. What happens is, suddenly a passenger pops up and he asks the station master, where is the 825? He doesn't ask for the train, right? He just uses a code, or she just uses the code, where is the 825? And the station master immediately tells her, shows her a bus, right? That is the 825. Now look at that. That is the 825 means instead of a train, they have hired a bus today because the train has to undergo servicing. So on a Sunday, the 825, even the very word train has lots of meaning. The 825 now becomes a bus. The passengers are not the same. Maybe even the train is not the same. Different body, different engine may come, right? Different bogies may come. So where is the identity of the train? It is not within the train. It is in a system of relations. And thirdly, it is right from the outside. It is not within the train. Now you'll understand what structuralism in essence is trying to tell us. It could be any word, right? Please, I would suggest, right, that you read this particular book by Terence Hawkes, Structuralism and Semiotics, right? A brilliant primer that you will love reading it, right? It's very cheap also, but I would suggest you buy a hard copy like this because you can write down your thoughts, write down notes, underline it, highlight it, that you cannot do online. Or even if you have some PDF copies also, you photocopy it and try to underline it, right? That makes it all the more beautiful, right? See how I have underlined, how I have, this is how you do, right? So you can make use, right, of a hard book. It's cheaper, right? And I would also promote, the buying of books, because only when we buy books, right, tomorrow there will be writers who write books. Otherwise, people will not be motivated to write. Great scholars, great thinkers, right? They will be motivated to write more only if we do some ethical value to the written book, right? It is almost a dying industry, but it is up to us to revive this industry in the interests of future scholars, academics, right? Philosophers who can write down their thoughts. And people will never write down if they don't get a penny out of it, right? Mostly, right? It also comes from, right, the publishing industry. So buy this book, please, and then start marking on it, start reading, right? This is the most important premise. So when I just analyze the word dosa, when I try to analyze the word idli, the word idli does not get its meaning from inside. I give it a term, right? I give it a term. What is it? Idli. If you ask a person from the West, 2 months back, I think, or 1 month back, there was a controversy that came up when a person from the West, said that, he hates these steam cakes, right? Or idlis. He calls them steam cakes, right? Because it's the most boring food, he says. It gave rise to gave rise to a lot of controversies. How dare he call our staple food in the morning as a very boring food, right? Because it is a staple for down south people. So, right, for him it was a steam cake, and he couldn't appreciate it better because he couldn't place it in a larger context. But we could appreciate any word gets its meaning not in isolation, but in a range of relations. The particular poem, for example, a sonnet. First, you should know what is a sonnet. And then, so where is meaning? It takes you away and away and away and away from a text. That is why Gerard Genette uses the word, paratext, hypertext. Ted Nelson, no, hypertext. Julia Kristeva uses the word intertextuality. Where is the meaning? In hypertext, we all know, right? On HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, in every website that you open, you will have the prefix HTTPS. S means secure. If the S is missing, it's not secure, right? HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. Only then, that means, right, from that page, if you click on a text, it will take you to another page. So where is the text? Where is the meaning? Meaning is not within, it is high, it is beyond, it is outside. Right? So, coming to the, So what is the 825? Where does the 825 get its meaning? Can we say it is in the 825? No. We give it meaning based on convention. And this is the train from Geneva to Paris. But when I come to India and when I am in Chennai, I ask my friend, where is the 825 or when is the 825? She will start staring at me for quite some time. And then she will say, or he will say, what's wrong with you? When is the 825? When I was there, right, in Geneva, I used the term 825. It was part of their culture. So the meaning of the words is not within the 825. This is exactly what he says when Sajiva uses the term seasons also. The year did not divide itself into seasons, 4 seasons. See, from this month to this month, I'll be spring, then summer, then autumn, then winter. Then, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? He didn't say that. We have attributed 4 seasons to a year for our own, maybe selfish benefits also. And then for the 24 hours in a day, we have given 1, 2, 3, 4. And days of the week, we have given it, right, names that we like. In nature, there is no construction, but we have constructed nature for our own benefits by dividing time. Time is ever present, right? Time is, you can't define time, right? But we have divided time, restricted time. And how have you, constricted time? By giving a day 24 hours. The earth goes on and on. Like time goes on and on. Like Andrew Marvel says, time is a winged chariot. It goes on and on. But we have controlled time or compartmentalized time into how many hours? 24 hours a day. We could have made it 25 or 23 or 22, but we have compartmentalized time into 24 hours for one day. And there will be 7 days in 1 week. The first day, Sunday, the last day, Saturday. So Friday comes, immediately we are excited. Hey, TGIF in the West, thank God it's Friday. TGIF means immediately they'll drop their pens, everything, they'll start homeward for a lot of celebration, right? Partying time. So ways of seeing, this is the phrase I want you to have in mind. Ways of seeing. Language constitutes our world. So what gives the train its identity? Only its position in a structure of differences. You should have this also in mind, right? Because we will not be going back to this once again. Only its position in a structure of, it's not the 725, it's not the 925. Even a cat. How does the cat gets its identity? Replace the question there with a cat, right? Replace the train there with a cat. How does the cat gets her identity? The cat gets her identity only in a structure of differences. It comes between this and that. It is not a dog, it is not a, right? So where is its identity? The last bullet point there, purely relational. Relational means in a set of relations. right? I get my identity based on a set of relations in the department. There is a hierarchy. I am there in a set of relations. And from our department, there are other departments like us, right, in the college. And in college is a structure again, set of relations, right? So where is my identity? Purely relational in a set of differences. And that we saw that in the creative code in the previous class. This is the last but one paragraph in that particular text by Gerard Genette. Structuralism is about meaning, not about form. Because we have little time left, I'm just trying to finish it off in this class and the next. After that, you can gear up for Harold Bloom's the Western Canon. Right? The second paragraph here, right? It is a study of the cultural construction of meaning. What is structuralism? Gerard Genette here beautifully gives us a kind of a definition. It is about the cultural construction of what? Meaning. How? According to the relations of signs that construct the meaning system of the culture. Now, you need not write this definition. If you have understood the concept, you can write your own, right? Of your own accord, of your own free will, you can write whatever comes to your mind. But the important thing you need to remember is understand the concept. What is structuralism? For example, I have a key with me. This is a bike key. This is a bullet key, right? So I have a bullet key. This key does not get its meaning in isolation. It needs something to be inserted in, right? If I can use this lock, right? This key doesn't get its meaning in isolation. It needs a lock, right? And so the lock does not get its meaning in isolation again. The key and the lock, they don't get the meaning in isolation. In a system of relations, what is that relations? It needs to be in a latch, right? It needs to be in a latch, and the latch needs to be in a door, and the door needs to be in a wall, and the wall needs to be part of the room. So see where structuralism takes you away and away and away from the words, from the sentences, from the objects. So this is what makes structuralism beautiful. See, this is just anathema or opposite to what text-based critics told us. Remember the three schools of criticism in the 20th century that vigorously advocated a text-based approach to criticism: formalism, practical criticism, and new criticism. But structuralists say, how does a text get its meaning? The words don't make meaning in themselves. The meaning of the words is outside. It is based on a larger structure. How can you analyze a text for a text's sake when the meaning is not in the words? Now I hope you'll understand. Right? The meaning of the text is not within the text. The meaning is in the outside. It is relational. A whole lot of things come into play. So how can you do a text-based analysis? This is what made structuralist reading so exciting. Roland Barthes in 1973, he wrote a text called The Pleasures of the Text. I think it's the year 1973. There he talks about readerly and writerly text. And he says the pleasure, the height of reading pleasure you get when it is a writerly text, because it deals with a lot of codes, C-O-D-E-S, right? Codes. It could be, the codes that you find in body language. It could be any code, right? Or the codes that govern, right? Language. So, a writerly text, Roland Barthes says. So where is meaning? It is outside. That is why structuralism was a kind of anathema or opposition to all these text-based theories, because text-based theories, gave us very specific focus, and concrete, focus. But structuralism took us away and away and away, right? Like the key I told you, like this key. Structuralism took us away and away and away from the key, from the text, to a whole lot of other things that constitutes a greater structure. So here, it is a study of the cultural construction of meaning according to the relation of signs that construct the meaning system of the culture. Finally, in this section, Genette looks forward to structural analysis at the more macro level of now you understand, it's not the micro. Micro means text-based. practical critics, new critics did it. He takes it to a more macro level of the text, to the even the analysis of narratives. So we'll stop here. In the next class, we'll try to finish it. In the meantime, right, you can read two interesting books. This book, right, I have suggested, Beginning Theory also, right? Yeah, Beginning Theory also. There is a wonderful chapter on structuralism, right? Structuralist chickens and liberal humanist eggs, right? That chapter, please read it. The 725, 925 examples that I gave you are there from this Beginning Theory book. And right, the egg is the text, right? But structuralists do not analyze the egg alone. They go to the larger structure, like the chicken, right? So beautiful examples Peter Barry gives us also. Please read this book for a kind of reorientation. Then in the next class, when you finish it off, it will be easier for you. Thank you. Wishing you all a very happy and exciting Diwali ahead. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Happy Diwali.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir, and happy Diwali.
Thank you. You too.
Happy Diwali, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.
Happy Diwali too.
Thank you. You too.